Okay, very quickly, let's look at the difference between gerunds and infinitives. Jesus, can infinitives. Um, if I look at this sentence here, for example, I like to run and I like running. First of all, in this sentence, let's ask a question. How many verbs are in this sentence? The answer is simple. The answer is one. This is my verb, and I only have one verb in a sentence. What is this? The infinitive, it's an action, yes, but it's my object of the sentence. So when we look at our object, for example, when we look at our subject, verb, and object, if I say I like, so in this case, or if I say, for example, I run, right? So in active sentence, we say I run every day. I ran 10 kilometers last night. I'm going to run 10K with my dog tonight. So we know with a verb, our verbs are like water, right? They're always affected by time. On this side of the glass, everything is affected by time. So that verb can be in the present, the future, the past. We can look at the perfect as well, but the perfect is not a time reference. There's only 3 time references. But as water, right, I can't pick it up and hold it in my hands because water goes straight through my fingers. But if I want to talk about an action, a verb, in the same way I talk about pizza, or the same way I talk about opeth, the same way I talk about like Mastodon, like music or books or anything or movies. I want it to be something tangible, like an object, something still. I have to turn this water into what? Into ice, right? So I have to make this liquid, this something that's always in motion, I have to turn it into something that's tangible, something that's still, something that I can hold in my hands like this. And now we can talk about this thing. To do that, I need either the infinitive or the gerund. So an example there of like when we look at sometimes where we confuse the gerund for being a verb, if I look at, for example, verb to be, right? I can say I am happy. So I can use my object can be an adjective. I can talk about my interoception. I can also kind of look at the world and say, for example, she is beautiful. So I can describe the world itself. I can say I am a writer, right? So I can use nouns and I can talk about what things are. Or I can say I am recording a class. And so either I can have my object of the sentence can be an adjective, it could be a noun, or it could be a gerund. This is with the absolute present. Different to Portuguese, where we'll say, for example, eu sou and eu estou. This idea that something is permanent and temporary. Eu sou professor. Eu estou feliz. In English, no. The idea of verb to be is that in a moment, I become aware of the world around me. And I become aware of the state of things. Again, like I can describe something. Wow, that's a beautiful sunset. Wow, that's very expensive. I can describe what things are. You know, I'm a writer. I'm a teacher. This is my book. Yeah, that's my house. I can describe what something is, or I can describe how something is being manipulated right now in nature. So my cats are sleeping, my dog is sleeping, my kids are studying, I'm recording a class. It's how we observe the world being manipulated right now. And in each of these 3, I only have one verb, am. Am is becoming aware. That's the whole point of am. It's to become aware of the world in which you are, the world in which you live. And it's becoming conscious in a second. Adjectives, nouns, or gerunds in these cases. When we look at different verbs, so for example, with like, we know that we can have a infinitive and a gerund, and it makes no difference. It's the same sentence, right? So now run is not an active verb. We're not talking about what I do, how I do it. we're looking at it as a concept. So this gerund and this infinitive, they're acting like nouns. They are solid objects, right? They don't move. They don't go anywhere. They don't change. They're meaningless. They're without color. They're without form. Well, no, they have form, but they're without any emotion at all. And time doesn't affect objects at all. So we know that some verbs, for example, I avoid eating after 2 p.m., right? Some verbs, like avoid, it's only a gerund. And some verbs, like I hope to finish my new novel this year. Oops, ho, no, hope. So some verbs are dependent with an infinitive, right? And some verbs like, love, hate, it's both infinitive and gerund. It comes down to personal taste. For me, I always use gerunds when I'm talking about things that I like doing, always. But let's look at a couple of cases where we have the same verb with an infinitive and a gerund, but we have a different meaning. So if I say, for example, I forgot to call you, or I say, for example, I forgot calling you, we have the same verb, but our objects are different. So we have the infinitive, and here we have the gerund. And they say two completely different things. So if I forgot to call you, what does this mean? Well, exactly what you think. This means I didn't call you. Dude, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. Oh my God. I'm really, really sorry, man. Look, I forgot to call you. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. The second one is very different. So let's imagine I say, look, I'm so sorry. I was supposed to call you last night. Oh my fucking God. I'm sorry, man. You say, no, you called me. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did. You called me at 10 o'clock. We spoke for 45 minutes. I told you all about my kid's presentation. Remember? Jesus Christ, did we? Yeah. We had a very long, open, and frank discussion. Jesus Christ. Look, I'm sorry, man. I forgot calling you. So in this second one, I called you. I just can't remember. I forgot that I did that action, which is strange. For example, we could say I forgot in a little more complex structure, saying having called you. We could do this as well. So again, but what did we do? We used the present perfect, but we turned the present perfect into a gerund. So we're always using that gerund to solve this problem here. That I did something, but I just can't remember that I did that thing. The same, we would look at the opposite, which is I'll remember to call you. Look, dude, I swear. This time it's different. I'll remember to call you this time. Or, dude, I'm sorry. Obviously, I'm getting old. It will come to me. It will. Look, I swear, it'll at the weirdest time. It's going to come back, and I'll remember calling you. I swear. Look, just bear with me, all right? So again, in this case, it's I can't remember this thing, but it will come back to me. This time, with the infinitive, it's a promise again. It's this future action that I will commit to. The same thing, but in a different kind of scenario. If we look at the verb try, so if I say I tried to call you, or I say I tried calling you. Again, we have one verb to try, which is to experiment something. But now with our gerund and our infinitive, we have two totally different situations. So let's imagine that in both situations that we have this action here as a circle, which is to pick up my phone and start a phone call, right? And then we have the outcome of that, which is to talk to you and to tell you what I have to tell you. With the infinitive, I'm unable to start the process for whatever reason. So when I say, look, I tried to call you. I had no credit. I'm sorry, man. I'm really, really sorry. So in this case, I was unable to complete or even to start this action, to call you, just to call you. I was unable to do that. In the second one, I was. So in this case, I called you, but you didn't answer. So in this version here, I tried calling you, which means I made the phone call, I made the connection, but I still didn't get to speak to you. So maybe you didn't pick up the phone. Maybe your phone was turned off. Whatever the reason, I called, you weren't there. So in both cases, I didn't speak to you. But with the infinitive, I didn't start the action. I wasn't able to do this thing here, to call you. So we could say as well, like I tried to let me see here. I tried to contact an agent from my books, or we can say I tried contacting agents. Let's personalize this. So if I tried to contact an agent, it means I didn't complete this action, which is contact an agent. So I opened my email, I gathered all the self-confidence I could muster, and then I went, I'm a piece of shit. And for whatever reason, I didn't follow through. I didn't send the email. But in this one, no, I contacted agents. So yeah, I experimented. Yeah, I said, all right, fuck it. Let me send out 500 emails and see if I get any bites from my stupid book. So I tried contacting agents for my books, and it didn't work. Or the people that I ended up speaking to were not the people that you ever want to speak to. So this one here, when we try doing something, so to try to do something means we're unable to do that thing. To try doing something means we experiment that thing. That's it. Maybe, for example, say, look, John isn't home. Well, okay, we'll try calling his work. Try speaking to his cat, because the cat knows where you are. So try these actions, and then maybe you'll have the result that you're looking for. That's it. There's a lot more with gerunds and infinitives, but that's all we're going to do today because I had to cancel class and so forth. If you want English classes, I teach online, and I teach students all around the world, mainly Brazilians, but also some French, and one Norwegian. So if you want some English classes, some tutoring, some direct classes, I do teach online. I do have open spots. There is a contact somewhere in the body of this video. And yeah, let's have some fun classes or something. Jesus Christ, I can't even sell my own services. That's it. As always, love the people love you. Everybody else is a piece of shit. And that's it. I don't know when the next video is. It'll be faster than this video. That's it.